All this, let's bring in Hafed Al Ghwell. He's a non-resident senior fellow at the School of Advanced International Studies at John Hopkins University. First, I want to get your thoughts on this communique, the outcome of the meeting.
Well, if you read it, I mean, I read it, all of it today, and it seems like almost taken from various other communiques in the past. It added very little to all of the old stands by various countries and the international communities. They basically reconfirmed a lot of what they said in the past. They talked, the only thing that is a little bit different is they talked about the security dimension a little bit more, about stopping the war, about trying to figure out a way or a mechanism, although they didn't name it, to hold countries that are violating UN sanctions on arms responsible.
Well, I was going to ask, if so much of this is a repeat of before, how does anyone ensure that any of this is enforceable?
That's it. That's the question, is that this communique sort of passes the ball down, or rolls it down the road and says that this is going to be handed over to the UN to decide this, and for the Security Council to issue resolutions on this. They also formed, the only concrete thing in this is they spoke about this military committee that's going to have 5 people from both sides, supposedly to try to work out the military dimension. But everything else has no mechanisms attached to it, and it's all left to the future.
There were a lot of countries at this meeting and a lot of players with interests and different outcomes, oftentimes competing. You've got Turkey backing Tripoli, you've got Russia backing Haftar, Turkey and Russia having a similar face-off in Syria. Both of those countries interested in oil. Yeah. Then you've got the EU backing the internationally recognized government there, and Italy and France, not so much.
Backing themselves.
Preferring at times to be more open with the general. How do you balance that?
Well, that's the issue. That's why Libya has not, the issue of Libya has not been resolved. You've got all of these countries, each one of them has its own calculations. They're all trying very hard to position themselves in. The reason why this conference happened, let's be very clear, I mean, they've been talking about it for months. And then all of a sudden last week, when Turkey and Russia reached an agreement between them and brought and put together a ceasefire agreement, that the internationally recognized government signed, but Haftar said he needs time to think about it. All of a sudden Europe woke up, and the others like Emirates, for example, or Egypt, woke up and realized that they're going to be out of the game. And all of a sudden this idea of Berlin became an immediate concern, and they called for the conference within a week. And it is basically for Europe to try, especially Italy and France, to take the ball back and to sort of bring the Libya file under their supervision, in fear of the Turkish-Russian agreements.
The Libyan Prime Minister al-Sarraj did not meet with General Haftar. He had said that he was suspicious of Haftar's intentions, his wills, going into all of this. Was this missed meeting a missed opportunity? Should the Germans have pushed for that?
Well, I think they did. I mean, the same thing happened last week in Russia. Sarraj and Haftar didn't meet, even though they were in different rooms in the foreign ministry. Sarraj has a serious political problem. He is not going to be able to meet Haftar. The fact that Haftar was, there was an international conference that was supposed to happen in April, and then both sides agreed to it, and then Haftar all of a sudden attacked the capital in this massive way. Since then, there have been a lot of costs, human costs. Over 200,000, according to the UN, have been displaced from their homes. Thousands have died, been killed by the attack from Haftar. Tens of thousands injured. So these people in Tripoli are not going to trust Haftar, and they're not going to allow the Prime Minister of Libya to sit with him and include him again in the future. So this is the complicated part. It's not going to go very well, I think.
All right, Hafed Al Ghwell, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.